Welcome to Don't Take This Personally,
a podcast about the business of creativity.
We are your hosts, Cami Oliveria
and Gabe Conover.
Welcome back to another spicy edition.
Always spicy.
Of these pep talks.
Piping hot.
Piping hot tea. We just want to thank everyone who's written a review, first and foremost.
Yes.
I don't know why when we started this, I didn't think ahead to what that would feel like.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me
Affirmation.
that people would be listening, but thank you guys so much. And we just want to throw out there, please leave us a review. The podcast gods love that.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, actually they do.
The podcast gods love reviews, so it helps more than you know. So if you are listening and you like what you hear, please leave a review. And if you do leave a review, you will be automatically entered into like a monthly giveaway situation. So do that and you'll get something maybe.
Maybe.
Raffle
time.
So that's that. And then our next little update corner, don't forget to join us on Clubhouse if you're on Clubhouse on Tuesday mornings to talk about what we talk about.
And if you're not on Clubhouse, join Clubhouse to come and talk with us.
Exactly.
We've been doing it for I think 4 weeks now, and it's been so cool.
It's been really cool.
It's been growing pretty rapidly. Everyone has such good insight to add.
Yeah.
Literally so beneficial for everyone, no matter what form of creative entrepreneurship you are in.
Yes.
Come join us on Clubhouse.
I have loved the follow-up conversations, the stuff we dive into. That's been really fun.
Yeah,
so,
we'll normally give a little recap, and then people will kind of jump up and chime in their little tidbits about what we have to say as well.
Yeah, it's
really
been
cool.
great.
Cool. All right.
So today, new topic, seamless transition.
Yes. Wow, this is so seamless.
So seamless. We're so good at podcasting.
Yes.
Okay, today we are talking all things Instagram.
Yes.
It feels silly to talk about, Instagram, let's talk about it. But honestly, whenever I talk to another photographer, Instagram comes up almost all the time. So I think it means, even though the stubborn part of me wants to be like, it's not that important. Right. I don't think about it that much. It's just whatever. It obviously matters a lot because it comes up every time I talk to a photographer. So I just think it would be cool to talk about how we use it, what we do with it, why it's awesome, why it's challenging, how to utilize it for a business while not letting it control your life, all the things.
Yes, I think it's also we are probably going to talk about more what we use Instagram for, and it's not what you're probably assuming. I feel like a lot of people hop on Instagram where they everyone's just trying to grow as rapidly as possible and to go viral or to just grow their following in general. I mean, the focus, I know that Cami and I are very similar in this, where our focus on Instagram is not that at all.
No.
So we'll kind of be talking about how we just use it from a business perspective that's actually practical and that anyone can do.
Well, when I was on that pursuit that you just described, I was very depressed.
Yeah,
it was not effective.
Relate to that.
It was not effective.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible. And a lot of this too was brought on by a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So a lot of people have had their likes on Instagram turned invisible for a while. My wife on her account, she can't see how many people likes her photos or how many photos or how many likes any photo has, but I have been able to see it this whole time. And there was this one day 2 weeks ago where Instagram accidentally turned it off for a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
And so we both stopped seeing likes and we were like, oh my God.
I felt like it was a victory. Felt like it was the biggest victory for so many reasons. I thought it had finally happened.
Yes. The amount of stress that came off of my shoulders just from knowing that it was amazing. I felt like I was on cloud nine for an entire night.
Me too. And I felt high.
Yes.
I felt oh my gosh, this is about to be a new dawn of social media.
Oh my goodness. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then at the end of the night, it all came back.
I know.
And I was like, damn it.
I know you and I had a very similar journey that day.
That was so frustrating.
Okay, let's back up. It's obviously changed so much over the years. What did Instagram look like when you joined?
It's funny. I actually have this distinct memory of a friend of mine in high school telling me about this new app called Instagram, and I was like,
"This new app called Instagram."
I'm not even joking. I have a vivid memory of it. And he was talking about how cool it was because it was like, oh, people would just like post interesting stuff, like stuff that they thought was so interesting that like people would want to see. Like it wasn't like Facebook, where like Facebook is just like more about like you personally and like your personal life updates. It was more about like sharing art and adventure and creativity. And like he was like look, I just posted this photo that I took on the freeway of like this fire in the distance. And I was like,
wow.
Oh wow,
I have
interesting.
posted that same picture before.
Well, and I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Like,
yeah.
I love art. Like, I love sharing creative stuff like that. So, like, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah. I know. I remember that, too. I joined in college. It was a thing starting probably my sophomore year. And I remember just posting pictures of, like, my shoes that were on my feet.
My shoes.
Like my cool Toms with, like, a filter on it. And then, actually, Instagram has been cracking me up because I always look at, like, what I posted on this day, however many years ago or whatever. And I would, 8 years ago, it was God. Like, here you are. I would, like, have people take pictures of me, like, holding my first camera, like, at the... like in my college town, and the caption would be like happy place, and I would just
stop.
I'll show you one right
I've
now.
got a million cringy photos.
I will show you
my,
one right
my
now.
My old account is gone because I just like deleted it when I wanted to just have a simpler life, and now I have like 50 accounts, so it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, that's that's true. You do.
Too many businesses.
Yeah.
But I have those same posts where I was like, when I got my 60D,
yes.
and I was like, look at my new camera, everyone.
Oh my gosh.
I posted way cringier stuff than that, but we don't need to get into that.
But then, so fast forward past that, it used to be so simple and so silly and so fun. But then in the early days of my business, the first handful of years, it was just so fun.
It was. I agree.
I would just get home, like pre-stories even, like before stories were a thing. I would just get home from a wedding and I would have to post something right away. So like I'd be getting home from a wedding at like 10. I would be like dumping all my photos. I'd be editing a few previews from my couch where my photos were backing up, and I would post a pho from the day at like midnight, and it wouldn't matter. Like I would be like, oh my God, this just happened. It's midnight. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Whereas
remember when things were consecutive?
So exactly. It would never matter. Like I would just be like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to post this now, and then people will wake up and see it, and like whatever.
That's crazy. Almost like midnight would have been the best time to post because it's the first post that everyone's going to see in the morning.
And it was actually pretty effective.
Yeah.
Like those posted really well.
That's wild.
But even back then, even the words that just came out of my mouth, those posts would do really well. That wasn't even on my radar back then. Like I would post that thing at midnight. No one would see it for a bunch of hours. It wouldn't get like any likes or anything until the next morning, and that didn't bother me. Whereas now, if I post something and the likes don't start coming in pretty quickly, I question everything. I'm embarrassed. I think, does nobody like this? Which now when I look at the analytics, I see Instagram's not even showing it to anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why is Instagram not showing my shit to people? Why is no one seeing it? Are my couples or anyone following me going to see this and see the lack of likes and be embarrassed for themselves? Like, are they going to be like, do people not like this? Am I not cool? And then, ooh, Cami, why is she not getting likes? She has all these followers. Did she buy them all? Blah, blah, blah. Like, and then I just like spiral and spiral and spiral. And it's just really fucking hard.
Yeah, it's depressing.
So end of episode.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I have a very similar story, and I won't get too much into it because I don't want to waste time, and I feel like Cammy really wrapped up my feelings anyway.
Yeah, that's how it feels now.
It is how it feels. I remember being very like into it in the very beginning as well, and like it was fun to like connect with all these other photographers, connect with other like-minded people. People were more interested in like searching for others, but now Instagram is just such a frustrating game that everyone, I feel like, doesn't even want to put the effort into meeting new people or connecting with new people, which I can relate to. I don't want to do it either because Instagram's not going to show my stuff to you guys anyway, and I'm not going to see yours anyway, you know? Yeah. Like, so it's just very frustrating. But I think that the mindset shift of like when I was like, okay, like Instagram is extremely valuable. I still need to use it in some sort of way, but the way that I used to use it in and the way I used to like do Instagram, it's not effective anymore. That kind of mindset shift happened for me about, I would say, a year or so ago.
Okay. And how did you used to use it in a way that wasn't effective? Or is it effective now?
It was effective then because Instagram just showed your stuff to everyone.
Okay, so
and
that was just
now
posting
they're just
whenever
very
you
selective.
wanted, pretty much? Or...
Posting whenever I wanted and, like, engaging with content. Like, stories kind of... I feel like stories eliminated a lot of the actual engagement as far as, like, real photo work goes, because
isn't that interesting?
We see stories first,
yeah.
and, like, if we see their post in their story, like, I very rarely will go to someone's page for it, which is unfortunate. Like, it's unfortunate. I wish that it wasn't this way, but it's just so psychological, and Instagram knows that. So they're playing you, and they're playing this game, and, like, obviously Instagram's number one goal is to, like, keep people on the app for as long as possible and to make money. So in order to make money, they need businesses to pay them money for advertisement and stuff like that. And I mean, I think that the barrier to entry for photography also has made a difference in this. I don't want to, like, go crazy into that, but I think that there are a lot more photographers that it's almost impossible to really find all of the new ones, because there's so many out there, and we're all fairly similar. So, like, how can we tell one from the other? It's almost impossible. People have, like, kind of boycotted all of the big feature accounts and stuff like that.
Oh, which I'm so glad
which
the
is
feature
good.
accounts aren't a thing anymore. That was, like, such a garbage time. For photographers.
Yeah, I mean, when in the beginning of them, I thought it was good. When they first started,
until they started selling presets to be like, we'll feature you only if you use our preset, and then it's like, wow, you're using all of our work to make money. Holy shit, you're a disgrace to the industry. I don't have an opinion on that or anything, though. I'm pretty impartial.
Right. To stay neutral.
I'm very neutral on that topic, actually, but I am glad that the age of feature accounts have kind of died down.
Yeah, I think that also society is getting over it. Like, social media was so big for such a long time, and it obviously is still a big deal, but it was so big, and then after a couple of years of being drained by it, society has been like, oh my gosh, like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
I know so many more people who literally have zero social media at this point than I did, like, a couple years ago.
So many more of my clients now, like, aren't on anything, and I'm like, well, you're fucking cool.
And you're lucky. Honestly, like, I wish I didn't have to be there. I wish
trapped.
I didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
But I feel like I do. And the mindset shift had to happen. And what I ended up going from was like, okay, instead of, like, looking into Instagram as, like, a place to grow, like, a following, that should not be the goal. I use it as a place for the connections that I've made in real life to actually, like, connect with me further, get to know me further, in a very easy way and on an easy platform.
Yeah.
Because I've talked about this in past episodes, and Cami is similar. We get most of our work from referrals and, like, from actually meeting people in the real world. So, like, when at weddings, they're bridesmaids, groomsmen, family members, whatever, they will be the ones that are most likely, you know, snagging all of my dates and stuff.
Yeah.
And what better way for them to get to know me further is just social media.
Exactly.
So I just use it as a platform to just showcase who I am, showcase the things that are important to me. Obviously, I'll post my work because it's exciting for me, but it would be more exciting if I didn't see how many likes they were getting.
I know.
So Instagram, if you're listening, I don't know why I said that.
If you're listening because you care so much about
hey,
little
Mark.
old Gabe and Cammy.
Hey, Zucks.
Hey, Zucks, make this change. The idea of likes being taken away was so incredible. I just really, that was just going to be like a golden age, I felt like.
Right.
But anyways, so similar to what Gabe's saying, how I use it now is I find the most success, like many things you'll hear us talk about, I find the most success by not overthinking it.
Yes.
When I try too hard to play the game and see what the algorithm will like, that's kind of when I see, like, the most failure.
Dude.
Whereas when I just post what I want, when I'm genuinely excited about it, like, I don't even care too much about times anymore, like times a day or whatever, because I feel like for the algorithm it doesn't matter. They'll just show it when they want anyhow.
Yeah.
When I get, I would say, like, the most engagement or the most success, the most serotonin boosting results from the app is when I just, like, genuinely don't give a shit. I'm not trying that hard, and it's genuine. Like, I'm like, oh my god, I cannot wait a second. I have to post this right now. And I try to not prep my captions either. Like, I just write exactly what's on my mind, how I would talk in the moment. And I feel like I think I'm doing a good job at this, because when I meet people they do say, you actually said this in a past episode about something else, but they do say, Cami, you are exactly who we thought you would be from following you. So I do think I'm doing a good job
and that's the goal,
at just kind of being myself on there and not overthinking it, not trying to play the game. And remember that when I get frustrated by it, I try to think of what I'm going to think about all this when I'm old. When I'm old, I'm not going to be like, I really wish I had more followers. I'm not gonna remember my perception of followers I had, but what I will remember are like the connections I made. And so when I think like, am I gonna give a shit how many followers I have when I'm old? No, but it has been incredible for like making and preserving connections with my couples. They feel like they get to know me more. I feel like I get to know them more. Like I make a point to follow all my couples on social media. I make this very important right away. And like my wedding last weekend, I mentioned things about a trip they had gone on, and you could tell that they were like surprised I paid attention to them. Like Amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, that road trip you went on, like you guys did this and I saw this and how cool is that? And they were like taken aback. Like they were like, oh my God, you saw that? And so I think
that is
it made an impression
so
for
important.
them that I like give a shit about what my couples are up to and I pay attention. So when I get frustrated about Instagram, I remember that's what's important and that's what I use it for. They'll get to know me, I'll get to know them. It's a way we can really connect without all the in-person time that it would take to get to know each other.
Right, and just to kind of emphasize that, what it really comes down to, and the reason Cami and I are so successful is because people have genuine connections with us that are created and fostered by what Cami just said, that she notices them, she's paying attention to them, she's not just like doing things to check off a box, you know, she's actually investing her time and energy into getting to know people and keeping up with them. And like, yes, I know that sounds like a lot of work, but that's part of our job. And so
it feels like the most important part of our job.
It is the most important thing. And I fell out of that for a little bit, and just recently over the last 6 months I've kind of been getting back into it, and part of it was just me being bitter at like the situation of the last year. But over the last like 6 months I've just been like, oh my gosh, it is so cool like what can come from these like genuine in-person connections. And yeah, it's just awesome. Like I stayed for dinner with my clients yesterday, my elopement clients, and they were like, oh, like you're done, but if you want to just put your stuff away and like have dinner with us. Cool. And like 2 of their bridesmaids, not even joking, 2 of them were like, are you available on this date?
Amazing.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It works.
It's wild.
It works, and you'll like your job more. So it's not purely just for like business purposes.
Yes.
But so I just want to give that little encouragement. I get really frustrated and down about Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
But when I can step out of that and think of what can I use it for, it's this. It's exactly what we're talking about. It's an amazing way. Like the amount of people who mention my dog when they inquire with me, or, you know, like I post about the gym a lot, and I get people who are like, oh my gosh, this is so impressive. Like I'm lifting this, or like I'm doing this. You know what I mean?
Can you beat my personal
best?
People
talk to me about it. They're like, oh, like I really like to do that too. Like that's so cool, whatever. And your dog, like I have this, I don't know, just like the stuff that makes me, I just try to post and not overthink it, and not even for the purpose of success, but just because it's who I am.
Yep.
And then the right people find me, the right people are attracted to it. They feel like they know me. I feel like I know them. So that's kind of how I just want everyone to switch their mindset a little bit with Instagram, because if you're just posting your work and you're just using it as a photography portfolio or a business portfolio at all, you're just not going to stand out. No. You're not, because like we're all kind of the same when it comes to photography.
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, obviously there are photographers that I like look up to as far as creativity goes, and like I follow them specifically for their unique work. But when it all comes down to it, like we are all doing the same thing in a very similar way. We're all keeping up with the fads of like what is interesting and what people are into. So like it makes sense that it's harder to grow right now because there's a lot more of us, and then Instagram has just changed things to, they have a different goal at this point. In the beginning, their goal was to literally foster creativity, I felt like. And now their goal is to make money, and their goal is to keep people on the app.
Easy it used to be to grow, where you guys, I haven't gained followers in 2 years. Like, of course, new people follow me every day, but I lose the same amount almost every day. Like, I've been stuck at the same number since early 20 19, and it's so nice because so many people will be like, oh my gosh, Cami, you're so close to breaking 10K, amazing. And I'm like, you guys, I've been stuck. I'm convinced.
so close
I was like, I've been so close for 2 years. I'm convinced they don't want me to have swipe up, and I'm just never gonna get over 10K. So it's just really hard to grow now, and I would rather have a smaller group of dedicated people who know me and I know them, and remembering that however many people you have following you, those are real people, and that's a lot. Like, try to picture what 5,000 or 8,000 or 10,000 or 500, that's a lot of fucking people, okay? So anyways, that's my little pep talk about that. But really practically, do you have any like Instagram tips?
Yeah, the one thing I thought would be really important to talk about is how everyone is always like trying to figure out the Instagram algorithm, and like I can't tell you how many times the recent thing is like everyone's posting in their stories like, this is like the best way to help small businesses out with getting our stuff viewed. The most important thing is to save the post. The second most important thing is to send it to your friends, and then to comment, and then to like it. So do all these things and you'll help us get views. That's literally not even true. I don't know who came up with that.
The super like.
Yeah, the
saving is a super like.
Super like.
Maybe it's true, but they'll just change it in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, even if it was true, they see everyone adapting to it, and like the whole, what is the goal? The goal, Instagram doesn't care about you getting views.
No.
They care about what people want to see. So if what you're producing is not naturally what people want to see, they don't care. They're not going to show it to people regardless. They can tell that it's not interesting enough for them to push out to tons of people, which is unfortunate. It's extremely unfortunate.
Wait, I'm sure they want businesses to pay them.
Well, yeah, and then
exposure.
obviously they want businesses to pay them. But like,
so we're already at an algorithm disadvantage.
Yes. That's true.
So I think you just have to not worry about it so much and just post what you want when you're excited about it.
Yeah.
Or do you have more strategy than that?
No, I don't. I'm similar to you. I just post when I want to. I don't have a specific time I do it. I just do it.
I just don't care anymore.
Me neither.
What about hashtags? Any advice around that?
I don't freaking know.
Me neither. It changes all the time.
Sometimes there will be like every so often one of my posts will like the insights will say, oh, like this many people saw it because of the hashtags. Yeah. And I'm like, why? Like that's weird.
Yeah.
I post them on every single photo, and this one had literally 0 views from hashtags.
It's so weird.
Again, the point I'm trying to drive is that Instagram is not like trying to serve you. No. They're trying to serve everyone, like,
and we'll never
collectively.
We'll never win.
Yes, it's never about the individual. It's about the group as a whole, because their number one goal is to keep as many people on the app for as long as possible. That's their goal above making money. So because the longer people are on the app, the more they are likely to spend money.
Yeah.
So they're only going to push out the content that is just absolutely interesting. And every so often, like I do have a photo that just performs extremely well. Normally I can't pick these photos out. I feel like I can, but then I don't. And then I like try to play it back in my head. My most popular photo is actually an engagement photo of these friends of mine, and they're on the beach, and they're really good looking, and they're wearing aesthetically pleasing outfits, and it's like a classic everyone wants this beach engagement photo type photo.
Totally.
And of course that one just blew up out of control.
Yeah.
And all over Pinterest, it's the only reason that I have like hundreds of thousands of views on Pinterest is because of this one
that's
photo.
So interesting.
It is. It's so weird. So like I've
weird.
had my viral moment, but even when I posted it, I wouldn't have like known it was going to do that. I mean, obviously I was attracted to that photo, but like, come on, like it's hard.
It's hard to
figuring
predict.
It out doesn't work.
Yeah. So I think you just got to not worry about it. Is that what it's coming down to?
Yeah. I mean, our friend Catalina, she teaches like SEO, search engine optimization. And one thing that she said that I always think is so interesting is that she loves learning about Google because it's actually possible to learn their algorithm. But she won't even try to figure out Instagram because it's literally impossible, because it makes no sense to anyone.
Yeah.
Where have you ever seen an article that like says Instagram algorithm actually explained? Like I've never seen that article, and I feel like if I've seen it, it's like obvious that it's not true because it's stuff that I've done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see tips and trick like videos all the time. It's like how to beat the Instagram algorithm. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. It's a lie. There's no way to beat it, and it changes every week.
Yeah. So I think it comes down to just not overthinking it and just having fun, getting your work out there, and just focusing on connecting with the people who you know, the people who are your clients and your whoever customers or whoever. But do you have any advice for like staying on top of the times? Like now reels are a thing, like reels versus posts versus stories, and now there's like a shop section. Like, oh my god, it's like all encompassing now.
I mean, the reality of any type of business is that anytime they launch something new, that's what they're going to drive and push. So if you do actually put energy into those things, it is going to perform better. I mean, that's the only thing that I can say about the algorithm is when Reels first came out, I posted a couple and multiple of them got like hundreds of thousands of views. And I was like, I feel like I put zero effort into that.
But lately, not as much anymore.
It doesn't. It's because it's not as much of like a new thing anymore.
So interesting.
But I mean, they just launched a new feature called live group chat or something like that, where you can have like 4 to 5 people in one live now instead of just 2. So I'm like, maybe like when you're trying to do, you know, Instagram tries to push all the new stuff. So like if you use their new features, does that mean that they're going to push you to the forefront? I don't know. I
mean, we also have some controversial opinions about which we pacted we would not say on the podcast, but we have some theories over why some of our stuff has gotten more views than others, and so there's a lot of stuff that I just like in general. I just feel like you can't win.
Right. But what it comes down to, even in these things that we decided not to post or talk about, is it all comes down to Instagram trying to please the group of like the group of people, please the masses, to try to like make everyone happy and to put what they want and what they're supposed to put out there, you know. So I think it's all just comes down to that.
So this isn't as uplifting as I was hoping it would be.
Yeah,
so
it is.
How do we end this?
I think that the best way to end this, and I mean, this is a frustrating topic, especially for business owners, and I think that that's why we're not as peppy as we are.
I know. I was like, dang, I thought this was going to be more important. Of a pep talk.
No, because it's so important. Like the reality is that you can't just invest all your time into something that isn't serving you. And this is why a lot of people are always talking about how like what are the things that you actually own when it comes to your business? You own your website, and that's pretty much it, right? So you should be putting more effort into the things that you cannot have stripped away from you, rather than these things. Because I used to get a ton of business from Instagram. Like people would inquire. Used to.
Yeah.
People would inquire and say they literally found me by searching the San Diego wedding photographer hashtag.
Wow, interesting.
That used to be a thing. Not at all anymore, and it hasn't been for multiple years, but that used to be a thing. So that type of inquiry was stripped away from me. If I were just continuously putting all of my effort into Instagram, then where would my income actually be coming from?
Fantastic point. Really not a good idea to be reliant on these things because maybe this dates me a little bit. I don't know. But when I started my photography business, my Facebook page was my biggest form of marketing. So if all my eggs were in the Facebook page basket, I wouldn't have inquiries anymore because that's like kind of become obsolete. Like now, you know, the only action my Facebook page is getting is like my mother-in-law, who's my biggest fan. So if you're listening to this, I love you. You keep me posting on that page.
That's my Grammy for me.
It's so
she reposts everything I put up.
Oh, that's really nice. It's always like my mother-in-law who's like, these are beautiful. I'm like, oh, thanks. That's so sweet. I really love that. Yeah. So, you know, but in terms of getting clients, people aren't finding me on Facebook anymore. So I kind of think to Instagram as the same. Like someday this is not gonna be lucrative for me.
Yes.
So don't freak out about that. I put way more effort into blogging and SEO and Pinterest and real life connections and all the other things we've talked about. But then using Instagram as a hub for further connection.
Right. And I think to finish up too, and this is, I mean, obviously new things come out all the time. TikTok is a relevant thing that like is new, and I know a lot of people are getting business from, and businesses are really like hopping on TikTok and trying to push content out there. I mean, it's definitely more relatable to a younger crowd.
Yeah.
So it's harder for photography because the people that we're trying to reach are not those people. But I know a lot of businesses are hopping on this trend. Eventually, though, TikTok is going to fall away. It is not going to last forever. So hopefully the goal of these businesses would be to jump from platform to platform as these new things come out and to really put energy into what's new and what's exciting. I do this regularly where I like analyze, okay, what are people actually like spending time on? Do we have time? Closing remarks.
Remarks.
What are people actually spending time on? And I'll hop between all of these things, but they all fade away. But what's the one thing that never fades away? My personal real life connections with people.
Yeah.
And that is why I put all of my energy into that so much more over social media and stuff like that, because it will continue to pay me back forever.
Yeah.
Because people will always want those personal connections.
Yeah, those won't go away. But, you know, I'm not even going to start the tangent I was just about to go on because we covered it.
Perfect.
I was about to keep talking, and I realized that's against the rules.
That's against
we
the
covered
rules.
it.
Clubhouse. We'll talk about it in
We'll
Clubhouse.
talk about it on Clubhouse.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us once again.
Conversations.
Sorry, this one was a little bit more depressing. We didn't laugh as much this time.
No, we
We'll make up
didn't.
for it in the next episode.
Okay,
How
great.
about that?
Okay, bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Tune in next time. See you on Clubhouse.